Right. Right.
Look, I'll be James out.
That's well.
Good morning. The time is now 9:01 a.m. September 10th. And I call to order this September 10th, 2022 meeting for the Eli Woodlands Stokes Community Freedom Public Charter School Board meeting, Board of Trustees meeting. Welcome to our board meeting. My name is Hoyt King and I am the board chair. I'd like to take this opportunity also to say it's great to see everyone in person. Very nice after almost not seeing everyone's face. Full presence this 2020. We'll go over who our board members are that are present here today. We'll start off with those board members who are present physically in person today.
Erica McGrady.
And I'll also ask if those who are currently chairpersons, would you also announce that you're a chairperson of your
And Amy Richardson, co-chair of the governance committee. And vice chair.
Tracy Friedlander, co-chair of the governance committee.
Erica Bryant, the executive director.
Crystal Gallaudet. Heather Harding.
Anton Smith.
Okay, and online, could we have the board members that are joining us first names to announce themselves? But not, if they are chair of the committee, please state that as well.
There's one, there's one.
Okay. Well, this quantity, we constitute a quorum for today's meeting. The next on the agenda item is a presentation by please.
Okay, wonderful. Good morning, everyone. Glad to see each and every one of you, and honored to be here as part of Stokes family. My connection to this school is long and deep. From sitting as an advisor with Ms. Moore when the school was only an idea in her mind, to sitting here today with you as the consultant who will be leading and supporting the work of this reset for the organization. I've been everything in between, from board chair to committee chair for governance, as well as school academic excellence, and chair of a former strategic planning task force for the school that helped us to not only get to Brooklyn, but think about and conceptualize opening up the second campus. I have served as a pre-K coach for the school, and friend and volunteer, and whatever else I have been asked to do, I show up and do it. And Garden, that's right, Garden Club volunteer as well, and leader with my husband. So he and I are joined at the hip, and we love Stokes, and glad to be here with you all today. So just a reminder, we're still here after going through craziness of the past 2.5 years, and maybe some of you have endured beautifully, but I'll tell you, I do not enjoy the COVID life, and I'm glad that we're able to be here together finally in person, and trusting that everybody has taken their tests and their back stuff or whatever that is that you need to manage to make sure that you're healthy, that we can stay healthy. We're walking in more. The name of this retreat is still here: stronger, wiser, and committed to excellence. And I'll say, and committed to educating children. So you can remember that that's why we're here. is for the children and families that we serve. I think that right there, that's half the battle for the work that we do. The agenda for the day has us highlighting lessons learned and the forward-moving work of the Stokes School Board. Reviewing charter school governance best practices. And so this is a training day for us. It's a professional development day. And a lot of this you know, so some of it may be a reminder, but there's some other things that given where we are at this point in time, the power of now, I'd like us to be thinking about as we move forward and do this reset. You're also going to be aligning based on that professional development, that board development, to make some thought about how you'd like things to look going forward. Not making decisions here, that's not what this day is about, but really taking what we do in the board development and considering what the implications are for the work going forward. And then finally, we're committing, recommitting, and connecting to the work ahead. We have some new voices that will be around the table, and I'm a firm believer in divine order that we're all here in this place and time for a reason. So I want to make sure we make space for each other to share the best of who we are and to make sure it's a welcoming place like Stokes is always, right? And so with that in mind, I want to ask, is there anything that we need to do in the way of shared agreements that we note about how we're going to spend these next few hours together before we get back out in the sunshine? So yes, there's more, I see you.
Because we did a roll call to identify a roll call of trustees, we failed to identify Beatrice here, and I wanted to acknowledge that Beatrice Cavallo is here with us. She's a candidate for the finance committee and a graduate of
Thank you. Beautiful. Welcome.
Thank you.
So anything that we need to make sure that we put down as the way in which we're going to govern ourselves during this day, as we think about reset and reconnecting.
Assume good intention.
Active listening.
Openness to diversity of thought.
I always want to have fun.
And you will be the person who helps bring it, Miss Moore, okay? I will do my best. Look, I'm putting an exclamation point with that, okay.
Action or action oriented in some way, because we're not making decisions today though, which is great. Think about what it is, like you said, this alignment issue. Anything else?
All right, I'd like to add, if you're willing, keep the children and families of Stokes at the center of our conversations, okay? It is why we're here. So, and as a visual, because I am a visual learner, I'm told this is a baby, this is a spider plant that came, this next generation from a parent plant. And so that's our focal point. That's our reminder that we're planting seed for a lifetime harvest, all right? And that as governing board members, you all are, think of it as on the wall, protecting to make sure that we do that and do it well. So our agreements are then assume good intentions, active listening, open to diversity of thought, have fun, commit to action, keep children, families at the center of what we do today. If there's anything else we need to add, you'll let me know. Is there anything here that we don't think we can agree to do? Good. Okay, so with that real quickly, Erica, do you mind putting up the mission and vision and values of Stokes School? Thank you, you all. While it's coming up, our agenda is kind of in three movements, if you will, and if those of you who followed the show, This Is Us, but we, borrow from that a little bit. So naming who we are and understanding kind of the identity of Stokes, where we've been and where we're headed next, right? And then framing it. What is it that needs to be thought about based on the training that we're doing today? And then let's claim it at the end of the day. All right, so the mission of our school, sorry, the preschool teacher in the passively is in here. Is anybody willing to read that? Can we make that full screen?
To prepare culturally diverse elementary school students to be leaders, scholars, and responsible global citizens who are committed to social justice. Anybody else want to pick up the next paragraph?
Stokes School teaches students to think, speak, read, write, and learn in two languages. It's actually three: English and French, and English and Spanish, with a dual focus on academic excellence and community service. Stokes School accomplishes its mission by creating an environment of respect, of achievement, respect, and nonviolence.
Actually, I should have started with your vision, and so Erica, if you don't mind, just scroll back up.
Yeah.
Our vision: to be recognized, respected, and emulated as a premier model of urban education in the United States.
And then our values.
Our core values: integrity, diversity, creativity, service, community, respect, enthusiasm for learning, and compassionate leadership.
And finally, the school.
I will take care of myself. I will take care of others, and I will take care of my community.
So as members of this August body, you're responsible for upholding all of this in terms of the work that we do on behalf of Stokes scholars and family. And so if people don't know these things, you might want to internalize them, that you don't have to know the mission statement verbatim, but the essence of it. And that's how we'll be moving forward today. So Erica, if you screen back up, I know we're kind of all over, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Up to there's a photo that says in dark time. On my walkabouts, I'm always taking pictures. This is on 14th Street with West Boys Poets. In dark times, shine your light brighter. And so we're just asking that everybody do that and be thoughtful about that in some way today. So can we do another round of introductions? And my question to you is, why Stokes? Why now? So many other things people could be doing with their time. Well, not here on a Saturday to commit and connect. So why Stokes? Why now? And whoever starts will flow from you. And if you don't mind saying your name again, that would be.
I'll start. I'm Crystal Galladay. Why Stokes? Because Stokes is home. Stokes is family, and Stokes will help shape your future. And why am I here? It's because I believe in the mission, and I would like to help shape the future.
Stokes is home, Stokes is family. I completely agree with that. Why now? Because we have, for me, now is a really pivotal time in the life of the school. We've been through a couple of very rough years with the pandemic. We are at a point now where we need to steady the ship and look toward the future. And so I'm eager to kind of get into that work. That's why now.
And you are.
Oh, Erica Bryant, Executive Director. Sorry.
Why Stokes? I'm Tracy Freelander. I believe in our children. I believe in our school. I believe in every individual around this table. And I believe that why now? The children are our future, and that they are worthy of everything that we can give them and invest in them. And I am grateful to school and to the children and families and to my friends and colleagues around the table and for everything that we do for these children and their families to help them along their journey.
Hi, Amy Richardson. Why Stokes? Well, Stokes for me is because education changes lives, changes communities. It's the one thing that can change sort of the children, their families, and their opportunities. I grew up as a child in Washington, D.C., whose mom sought out the best opportunities, education opportunities she could find for me. And I wanted to give back my time and, talents to be a little part of providing the best education to a small population of the kids in Washington as well. And I found Stokes through a very good friend of mine and introduced me to it and just wanted to be part of this family, this mission. And here I am.
For a little bit from what everyone has said. Stokes, I'm Erica McGrady. And Stokes is friends and family for me, but it is also an opportunity to serve and give back to a community that I love dearly and will always be home no matter where I am. And also in coming out of the last couple of years, which has definitely been difficult for the school and difficult for a lot of people, sort of feeling renewed and wanting to sort of get back to, I think it's new normal, but also feeling more on forward and not just crisis.
Anton Smith, and I'll kind of combine my answers into one. For me, it's a fortunate collision of personal interest and opportunity. My personal interest in giving back, so that's really gotten bigger over the years as I get older, desire to have impact on the world around me. In a collision with an organization that has the same interests I have in terms of development of children, education, something I've always been big on, and language. I've always been really strong in Spanish and being multilingual, and so collision of those.
My name is Beatrice Carvaya. Why Stokes? Because I graduated from Stokes. But also I just want to give back to a school that gave me so much. And with people who see me grow and help mold me to the person that I am today. Stokes was just kind of like my blueprint. Like that's where I started and that's what kind of molded me into like the way that I think today. And anything that I can do to contribute and to help, I'm all for it.
My name is Linda Moore, and there's a really interesting accident history that brought me to the school, and it's taken up an incredible amount of my life, and I am here now to make sure, to the best of my ability, that the school remains excellent.
And did you tell us your name?
I did, but make sure I never put it on.
I'm sorry, I'm seeing of two guests who arrived as well, two new people. I don't think it's been hard. Thank you.
My name is Heather Hardy. Why Stokes? Because it's family. It was the best thing that ever happened to my children and to myself. In terms of raising children in the kind of world and exactly the way that the vision and mission that are articulated. And I'm a career educator. So why now? It's the same, but also more urgently the same in that this school, what it has accomplished in the model is what the entire country it's never stagnant. It's always focused on love, and there's not enough of that. So for me, very important that we get into the vision of being a model that other people can have.
So, welcome back, Chair. We are asking, why Stokes, why now? And introducing ourselves.
Okay, well, my name is Nick Lee. Just the manual chair. State better. But it's very true. Now, I have up to the for and it was COVID started out. Our personal lives, but must be had to integrate that into our professional lives at the school, had to do and the governance and a lot of leadership and so this kind of so I appreciate that. Well, that's strong and ready to face some of the challenges that we're going to face as we reset. So my why Stokes right now is my same reason for joining in the first place, which is I was a fan of the sport and a fan of the school, the mission that the school established, and really wanted to support that mission. At the time, I was very in the program, and I was talking to Carlos because our friends for a while, and told me about that he was serving on board, and I expressed some interest on it. But the reason is that I couldn't tell them what she was saying, but what I could hear that was this being a school that could be involved in educated based on that's completely what I felt, especially that's what I felt. That's completely what I felt. So, you know, I'll say before, I wasn't talented enough to be a teacher or patient enough. But what I did feel like I could do is hopefully be in a position to contribute some what I could to the school and help reach its goal.
Thank you. Welcome.
Oh, okay, good morning, everyone. Apologies for being late, overslept. I am an educator and we finished our first week of school.
Yay.
So I just
Okay.
spent 2 days with all seniors camping. It's very little sleep, you can imagine. So I slept in my alarm, but anyway, why Stokes? Because I am a lifelong educator and I do. My why is supporting and helping kids in youth grow. I am in a school that we have a similar mission and vision, but I don't necessarily always live it. And so for me, for Stokes is seeing that mission, I see a school that is actually and it deliver different sort of a segment of students that I work with. So for me, it's also about professional growth, but ultimately it's just about impact for kids.
Wonderful. Please tell us your name.
I'm sorry, Kira Orr, and I am a student of school at Bola School, independent school in Potomac, Maryland.
And Will, hi.
Hi,
Do you mind telling us who you are, how you're connected to Stokes, and why Stokes, why now for you?
my name is Bill Muchikowski. I'm the Director of Finance at Stokes. Why Stokes? I was looking for a job at the time. But I was at a different charter school. I was at a charter school that started and ended in 3 years. So I was a business manager there. And actually the executive director there said, I know Linda Moore. They're looking for business manager. Send your resume. And I did. And the rest is history. I went and then the first thing she said to me, why did your executive director, he try and get rid of you? The first thing. So I've been there 11 years now. And I actually wish my son lived in the district, so his daughter could go there, she's almost 3, so I would love that. And compared to my education, I would love to. So that's why I'm here.
All right, has anyone joined us online? Erica? All right, well, great. We're tracking on time and I always love that. So in just a moment, I'll turn it back over to you, Point. I do want to tell you real quickly, so just a little bit about my background. I love title as well. I will say at this stage of my life that I am a student of human development and organizational development. And so that has had me with many iterations of a life as a classroom teacher. As I said, it started out in that way. A state bureaucrat for the Department of Education in Massachusetts doing grants development when I was on the team. To moving here and working for 2 premier child serving organizations, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, where I left that job as a senior manager, community organizer and policy analyst, but then also running a program known as Freedom Schools, for those of you who are in the social justice world. Mary Van Edelman wanted to do a reiteration of that. So I left directing that program only because I was newly married and I was on the road more than I was at home. You know, that wasn't a good equation. And so we launched a consulting firm, Front of the Bus, which Google us, you won't see us right now because we're in the process of rebranding, but next month we will be 25 years young. So we've been doing this for more than a minute, and people sign up 2 ways to come to us, either to improve their educational practices or make their organization stronger. That's the vertical that I sit in. Our portfolio is everything from state government. We've come to see the school in Zambia and doing work both local and national. And so I ask that you authorize me to facilitate today. We're doing training. We'll learn from each other. Everybody here has something to contribute, but I want you to know I'm coming solidly to do this work with you all today. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Can I amend? I'd like to amend my why Stokes one.
Sure.
I was caught a little off guard the first time.
Okay.
I'd like to amend. Okay. So, as I said, Stokes' family, Stokes' home. Obviously, Linda Moore founded the school. She is my mother, named it after her mother, who is my grandmother. It is a family privilege and honor to be able to continue the work that my mom and my grandmother has done. I am also a lifelong educator, starting off 30 plus years ago in West Africa as a Peace Corps volunteer, where I was first exposed to classroom life and determined that I did not have the fortitude to be a classroom teacher, but decided to become an administrator. Stokes gives me like the combination of everything that I love in life. Access to languages. I found a love of language when I was in Peace Corps. Picked up French, speak Spanish. So at Stokes, on any given day, I can speak to people in any of those 3 languages and keep my brain kind of active, which I love. I also love the fact that the work that I do, I see the results immediately. Like it's tied directly to the children who are in the school. I have seen, now that I'm going into my 20th year at the school, I have seen generations of children that we have educated. We have educated children whose children are now being educated at the school. We have people who we have educated who have come back to work at the school and who are not teenagers. They're full-grown adults with really good intentions and feedback, and they understand the mission of the school. And it's at this point in the life of the school, as those of us who have been around for a couple of decades plus, as we age, it is beautiful to see younger generations coming up and kind of taking leadership and we're preparing them to be, the next leaders of the school community and take us into, this is our 25th year, but take us into the next 25. So that's my one.
I'm glad you asked.
Thank you.
You come back. All right. So with that, after you go.
Okay, so we all. Presentation. Okay. So the next agenda item is to enter into executive session to conduct a training and development of members of our board and pursuant to DC official code 2-575 B12. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Before we get to that, I just wanted to get updated the strategic
Oh,
plan
okay.
goals before we go into the session.
No problem.
Sorry about that. So much of what we're going to be talking about today is grounded in the strategic plan that we have been reviewing for the last few years. A strategic plan that was created before the pandemic and will take us through 2024. The main goals, again, as a reminder of the strategic plan, are to sustain and improve our scholars' academic, social wellness and social justice outcomes, strengthen internal systems and processes, expand and sustain our resources, including human, social, and financial, increase the number of students and families that are served by the school, and enhance our position as an advocate and thought leader in urban education. So again, as I said, the strategic plan was created before the pandemic, but we have implemented mostly during the pandemic. And over the last couple of years, 2.5 years, COVID and everything associated with COVID, the mitigation strategies that we put in place, all of the extra layers of staffing and support that we put in place. This has all presented some challenges to the school, some significant challenges to the school. If you recall, when we switched over, we had to switch over to virtual learning. We kind of turned on a dime. Oh, we have someone who's entered. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me next. Okay. When we did that switch, implementing that virtual model required a lot of additional expenses that we had not previously anticipated. Had to get new staffing, new technology, professional development for staffing and training to get them up to speed on the new technology. Then, after virtual learning was over and we had to return to in-person learning last year, it required that those of us, particularly in positions, in administrative positions, but also teachers and support staff, we all had to wear not only education hats, but public health official hats. And that was very taxing. As an example here, here's a picture of our operations manager at our East End staff, right as we were returning to in-person learning, who's giving COVID tests out to children. She didn't sign up for that, but she did it. You know, she's a trooper. If you see, she has a little red cape on. We got superhero capes for all of our administrators and operations staff who are really holding that testing process down. Brooklyn campus, older kids were testing themselves. If you went into a classroom last year, even this year, because most of our students are still, excuse me, all of our staff is still masking, but not all of our students are masking right now, but last year masks were mandatory. So this is what any classroom would look like if you went into it last year. So, student attrition during COVID resulted in the enrollment of new students and the involvement of new families in the school who had to integrate into our school culture and climate. Other challenges that we faced in the past couple of years include, as we have all heard, countrywide, worldwide, mental health challenges for staff, students, and parents. We have, as a school, a focus on social and emotional wellness, but we were not prepared for the challenges that came with COVID. I talked previously about additional expenses that were associated with operating during a pandemic. This has reduced our monetary reserves. And another challenge that we have faced is that this year, we've had the biggest staffing turnover in the entire history of the school, 15 to 20% of our staff. So these challenges aren't unique to us, but I just wanted to highlight to you what we have been experiencing as we tried to implement the strategic plan and how this has impacted our ability to reach some of the goals that we've set for ourselves. And we're in a couple more pictures just for you to look at. This classroom does not look like the classroom looked like pre-COVID. If you look very closely, you'll see that some of the students are learning remotely. This was a hybrid model. Some of the students are in person. We had to rearrange the classrooms and put up shields. So there's just a lot of work and a lot of adaptation that it took in order for us to get to the last couple of years. And not just on the classroom level, but with staffing, we had to learn how to adapt the way that we operated too. And so there are a lot of virtual meetings. I would say that that is an upside of COVID, the fact that we are able to, particularly with our two campuses, it's much easier now for us to collaborate cross campus because we've accessed all of this new technology, we have the capacity to meet school wide. So ending on upswing. So, that's it. Oh, sorry, one more slide. So in terms of progress that we've made toward our goals in the strategic plan, we have made a lot of progress on the first three goals, sustaining and improving academic, social wellness, and social justice outcomes, strengthening internal systems and processes, and expanding, strengthening, and sustaining our resources. We are on schedule with some portions of the fourth goal, which is to increase the number of students and families to be served by the school. And goal 5 hasn't had a lot of attention because we've been focused on like one, staying healthy and staying well during the pandemic and educating our kids. So goal 5, enhancing our position as an advocate and thought leader in urban education, has kind of been put to the side while we focused on the things that were most.
I think the board needs to know, trustees need to know that despite the lack of attention, both Erica and Ms. Moore have a really strong national stand. So since I work nationally in education and go to a lot of conferences and talk to a lot of people, without questions, Erica, who's been in a couple of cohort programs she's shared with us, she is known as a strong leader, somebody to look to. I've heard this a lot in the charter company, and of course our founders in the charter school, all things. So while we haven't done a lot on that, I just want us to all feel good about the foundation that these women, our leaders have, both locally and nationally.
Any questions about this part of it?
I do have a question. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Erica?
That helps. Adina, what's your question?
First of all, good morning, everyone. I have a quick question just about teacher retention, and completely recognize that I think, Erica, you said 10 to 15%, which I know is not unique to Stokes, but I'm just wondering if some of the reasoning.
Adina.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. We can't
What now?
hear you. Hold on, let's work on it.
How about now?
Hello.
And Adina?
Testing, 1, 2.
Yes, thank you.
Work that tech.
Is my microphone, I'm tapping my microphone. Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. And sorry that I can't join in person. I was going to ask about about retention. And I think I heard, Erica, I think I heard you say 10 to 15%, which I know is not unique to Stokes. I mean, obviously, like, teacher retention is an issue nationwide. But I'm curious, I'm curious about the reasoning. Like, do you think that the reasoning is also very similar to what we've been reading about and hearing about why teachers are leaving? Or are there other observations maybe that you've made, or other reasons that teachers who decided to leave have given that you think might be important to raise?
I would say that within our school community, it's mostly just sheer exhaustion. People are tired. It physically, it was, oh, I should look here. I'm confused.
It's okay, it's all right.
Physically, it was tiring for staff to get through the last couple of years. Emotionally, mentally, it was draining. And I heard more than one person say that they just needed a break. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That
makes sense. Yeah.
How we go to the next phase, do we have do you have an opportunity to say why?
No, and Adina, hi, I'm Julian, and facilitating, let me take this mask off, hopefully you can hear me. We'd love for you to just weigh in. So we did a round of introductions of everyone. Why Stokes, why now? And then also weighed in with some shared agreements about how we'll govern ourselves today. So why don't we start with your introduction, if you don't mind? So why Stokes, why now?
I'm sorry, I'm introducing myself and then answering the question, why Stokes, why now?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you connected to Stokes and why now?
Got it. My name is Adina Ellis. Gosh, I can't even remember. I feel like I might be the newest on the board of trustees. Is that true? I don't know. No?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I'm not.
You're an intern.
Fine. I'll pass my rookie hat over. My husband and I have a second grader at Stokes. We were very excited to become a part of the Stokes family when he started school in pre-K. There are a lot of reasons why I am so fully invested in Stokes and the Stokes community. A number of reasons that I don't have time to go through, but primarily for us anyway, as a family, it was the leadership at Stokes. So obviously Mrs. Moore and Erica and the entire team that we received information about or read about or met throughout our process of deciding on a school. I also really think that Stokes continues to be in a really unique position as an institution of learning, where there is such immense diversity among not only staff and students, but also just the general approach to learning and curriculum is one that I think that Stokes continues to be uniquely positioned, like within the broader context of schools in DC. So those are some of my main reasons, and again, excited to be a part of this group, and yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so our shared agreements, why don't we say them real quickly and then I'll just, if there's anything that you want us to add, Adina, now would be a great time and for anyone who might have joined us. So we're assuming good intentions, we're listening actively. We are open to diversity of thought. We intend to have fun. We're committed to action. And we're keeping children and families at the center of our conversation today. Is there anything else that we need to add, or is there anything that I've said that folks can't agree with?
I'd like to add something. What I'd like to add is that we also have take this as an opportunity to have the and in good faith conversations about what this about the successes that we've had and the challenges that we've had in the last 2.5 years. Given that last 2.5 years that we've experienced COVID, so this is the first time we've done it. I think this is moved through COVID very effectively. Just where we are. And I personally have collected notes about practice. Watch out for being on the list of places. I intend to share them with good faith and love, and I ask that you all share those communities.
Excuse my back, Hoyt. Thank you. I have that.
Also, Hoyt, the microphone's not picking you up. I don't know what the audio setup is in that room. But
Oh, okay. Well, I just asked that we all share our since this is the first time we're seeing each other and in person, a lot of us from these 2.5 years of COVID, that we all share candidly what we have individually observed as our successes and our challenges of these last 2.5 years. In good faith and love, but definitely want to make the point being that let's share that. Let's share that. And let's get that on. Let's have those discussions so that we can incorporate it, and move forward.
Were you able to hear that, Adina? Okay.
I did. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Did you want to add anything, or you?
No, I'm good for now. Thanks.
Okay, that's.
Okay. All right. The next agenda item is to enter into executive session to conduct a training and development of members of the board and members of the public body and staff pursuant to DC Official Code 2-575 B as in boy 12. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Make a motion to enter into executive session. I second that motion.
I have a motion and a second to enter into executive session. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Sorry. Okay. So at this time, I'd like to do a roll call. The board members that are here presently and as well as joining us virtually.
Erica McGrady, aye.
Amy Richardson, aye. Tracy Friedlander, aye.
Crystal Galladay, aye.
Claire Harding, aye.
Or aye.
Ian Smith, aye.
Boyd King, aye. And yeah.
Adina, can you hear us?
I can. Adina Ellis, I.
Okay. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to enter into executive session, say yeah, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The motion carries. The board will now enter into executive